and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys!
Let's go, baby!
Are you ready for a break?
Yes.
Are you ready for a break?
Absolutely.
Ready for a break?
Yeah, and so much for that.
It's time for The Break on DallasCowboys.com.
We were on a break!
With Ambar Garcia, Bryan Broaddus, Voch Lombardi, and Derek Eagleton.
It's Wednesday, October 1st, 2025, Season 21, Episode number 48. Welcome to the latest edition of The Break. We are live from the SWBC Mortgage Studios at the Star, presented by LG. LG is the world's #1 OLED TV brand for 11 years and counting. See why at LG.com/OLED Evo. All right, we got the whole crew back together today. Bryan
Voch
back here
almost
with us.
cried yesterday because he was so sad that you were not here.
You know that's a damn lie.
Well, I thank you guys for covering for me yesterday.
Well, you know what we found out? We uncovered, among other things, on the show yesterday, we uncovered the whole idea behind why Voch always is like, Bryan Broaddus. Yeah. And so he told us that, the whole story of how he's just like, he's so in awe of you that he has to call you by your full name, which I think is pretty nice. That's nice and flattering for you.
Well, thank you for allowing us to work together. We worked together already this morning. We get to keep working together.
Yeah,
so
it's
a lot of fun.
Also, too, Bryan, I thought Derek was going to say this. I taught Ambar.
No, I wasn't going to say that. I wasn't going there.
I taught Ambar what dirty macking is.
You know what? That was an excellent episode you guys had.
You know what
That
it
was
is,
when
though,
you
right?
not-
Oh, yeah. I learned that from you. I learned that from you.
Bryan Broaddus know what dirty macking is.
When he's talking about the old Mike McCarthy days, that's what he always talks about, the dirty macking days. So I learned a lot of things working with this guy.
Yeah, that's
I love
why
every day of doing it. Yeah.
You shouldn't miss a day, because when you miss a day, we have time and we get to dirty macking. I don't know.
I love the tweets that you had about it. I didn't have that on the bingo card.
That was not on the bingo card when I woke up yesterday morning.
That's what we do.
But it happens.
It happens.
All right, so let's first start with some injury updates. Let's talk first about there are three guys, I guess, right now that we know of that are on the injury report for coming out of last week's games: Miles Sanders, Tyler Guyton, Malik Hooker. What do we know about either or all of the three? Have we really learned much about it?
No, we have not learned much about that, and that's what, like I say, I think today when I was asking about it, it was we've gotten to that point of let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see, and then we'll see the designations with the various because of practice being a Wednesday practice today. But I was like, I didn't get the feeling that there was a large concern about it. I know one thing that the general manager was on with us yesterday on 105.3 The Fan, and kind of talking about the same kind of things when it came to the concussion protocol and things like that you're dealing with the toe. We're talking about how Hooker, the toughness and things like that. So, but I was like the general manager was talking about yesterday, kind of the same thing. Like, hey, we're going to have to see how these things go, and if we can't get by Thursday, I think you'll know exactly where you are. We'll see today, and then tomorrow we'll talk about this again. And it'll probably be, hey, you're probably not going to have this guy this week, or you will have this guy available. So that's kind of where we're at right now on those.
Which one of these three would concern you most if they couldn't play? Miles Sanders, Tyler Guyton, Malik Hooker.
I would say Guyton. I would want him to have the most reps, and you only have one Nate Thomas, and we've been talking about, hey, can Nate come in and help us out? I think the guy that you would want Nate to help out with is your right side. So if Guyton is out, then Nate would be your left side guy, and you're still having to deal with that right side situation. So I would rather have Guyton here. I think seeing some change from Hooker may benefit us. I could be wrong on that, but maybe just seeing what somebody else can do in that spot, that might be cool. And if Miles is out, maybe Jadon Blue would magically have a consistent week of practice, and maybe he can get out there a little bit. So I'm going to go with Guyton.
Yeah, it's been kind of we've been waiting this whole thing with Blue, and every week it's kind of like, yep, just need to keep working. Keep working.
You're doing good stuff, but keep working.
They're really happy with the running back room they have currently.
Sure.
They're happy with Williams. They're happy what they're getting with Sanders. Hunter Lipke has not had to carry the ball very, very much. And that's kind of where you're at. The one thing that Jadon Blue will do for you though is he will play special teams. This is not like you're activating a guy and then all of a sudden he's not going to help you on special teams. There's things that you can absolutely do with him. So, it's like the old adage, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. When it comes to this running back room.
There are a whole host of players on the roster right now that you can open the window for them to return from injured reserve. I'll run down some of the names. I want you guys to tell me who you think has the most realistic shot of coming back soon, and who do you think can help most based upon the areas where you need help. Savone Revel, Jonathan Mingo, Peyton Turner, Phil Maffa, Kalen Carson, Josh Butler.
Okay, I think every single corner you name can definitely help you.
Agreed.
100%. I think.
Well, I'm going to challenge you a little bit on that.
Sure.
Do you think that either of those corners I mentioned will come back and be better than any of the corners that are currently playing?
I think the thing you have to look at is where's Elam right now in that pecking order of things. I think that Diggs got challenged in that game last week, and I mean challenged from hey, we've got to be better. We've got to be doing things, and we've got to be. If you're going to play scheme, play the scheme. Don't be a hero. That kind of thing. I think he got challenged a little bit last week. So to me, the questions I have is really about Elam. Elam was really good in training camp, and we talked about it, but there's people that have said, well, he's looked good in training camp before, and then his level of play he hadn't been terrible, but you do see that teams attack him. His ability to tackle, I think, is really has been positive, but the coverage aspect of things, I think, has been lacking right there. So to me, that's where I would focus on that one if it was one of these guys like the Butlers and the Revels and guys like that coming back. I would focus on that position myself.
I actually made this example. If you think about corners like Richard Sherman or like Josh Butler, like they're cover 3 guys. So when they're in cover 3 systems, they're really good in those systems. If they were in some other system where they were asked to play man or something like that, maybe they wouldn't be as great in that system. That's why they're like 5th round picks and day 3 guys or whatever. So what you would hope for with a guy like Revel, and he may not be the best guy physically amongst the others, but does he fit here? And that's kind of where you just gotta line them up and just see. I know in college they did a bunch of zone, a lot of match cover 3 looks. They were just trying to do some of that stuff. If Flus is gonna do some of that stuff, then let Revel hang around and try to do some of that, and maybe he'll see and go, okay, I've been doing this for a long time. I may not be physically better of a man cover guy than Elam right now, but we're not running man. We're running cover 3 and match. So maybe if we're doing that, then Revel could possibly be better. But that's just the bad thing about not having these guys in camp. Kalen Carson, we don't know what he is right now. We have no idea. He could be fantastic. He could be the diamond in the rough that we just didn't even see coming, but he hasn't been showing us anything, so we don't know.
We don't know yet, but I'm sure looking forward to knowing and finding out, hopefully sooner than later. I'm super excited about Revel because I see, even when guys are not practicing or out there on the field with everybody else, you still see their demeanor. You see the way that they walk around, they carry themselves. You see the way that even during their training, their rehab, they're working on. And I don't know how to explain it, but some people just portray like the it factor. And I feel like he has it. Obviously, we haven't seen it yet, but I cannot wait to see him on the field. Another guy that I'm excited for, but it's less of a pressing need, is Mingo. And I constantly talk about him. I want to see him with the way that Dak Prescott is currently playing. I think he can bring a lot to the offense and just help out a little bit in certain situations. We'll see how the everybody else is health-wise on offense, especially in the wide receiver group. But I would love. When does that window start?
I think they could start as early as this week. It's just a matter of whether the Cowboys choose to activate those windows now at this point.
Well, he looks good. I'm not a training staff, I don't know where he's currently at, but because there is a difference between what you see like rehabbing versus a real game.
Sure.
But as far as everything that I've seen from him, he looks to be trending the right way and looks to be doing good in the recovery progress.
Derek, on that list of 15 names, maybe I missed because you read them so fast. Was Winfrey on that list? Perrion Winfrey?
No, he's next week.
Next week?
He's neek week.
I'm really excited to see.
Yeah, I would love to
see what he's talking about. I know that I would love to ask what they're doing, like with this rotation with the backup one tech guy. You know, Jay was the first 2 weeks. Mozzie has been the last 2 weeks. I wonder if they're just rotating them out. Maybe they saw more from Mozzie in practice, you know, over Jay. I would love to see what that looks like. But if they're rotating guys just to see what that fourth guy looks like, what that fourth tackle looks like, I would love to know, does Perrion get 2 weeks just so we can see what he looks like?
Right.
And he's a different kind of guy than Jay and Mozzie. He'll actually give you pass rush. So if that second unit of you know, linemen is like Solomon Thomas at 3 and Winfrey at 1, I think you can get a cool little rush out of that group. So we'll see.
Did the way the wide receivers played last week make you think about what you're going to do with Mingo? Or did you have a plan with what you were going to do with Mingo regardless?
I don't think it changed anything for me. I still think Mingo has the ability to be one of your top 4, 3 wide receivers. I just think he has not had the benefit throughout his career of having much of a quarterback.
Yeah, you got one now.
Right, he's got one now, and he's playing like that. And not only that, but I know we all are thinking, oh, well, CD will be back. He'll be back soon. Yeah. Like, we really don't know the timetable on CD. You know, it's a high ankle sprain. Who knows? Mm-hmm. And so for me, I'm looking at it, and I say, just like you look at the cornerback position and say they could use some help. Right. I think they could use some help at the wide receiver position. And quite frankly, I think Mingo can be better maybe than some of the guys that are out there, where that's why I asked the question with cornerback. I think there's a possibility. I don't expect Savon Revel, even though I think he can be a good cornerback long term. He hasn't played since, week 3 of last year in college at East Carolina. Mm-hmm. It ain't going to be like he comes in and is immediately Richard Sherman. At his prime, right? So you're going to have to let him develop and get in shape. There's a lot of things that have to happen. So I don't look at him as an immediate, even when he's ready to come back and play, I don't look at him as an immediate upgrade. Jonathan Mingo, on the other hand, I do look at him as possibly a guy that can come in and get some reps for you where you're like, oh, yeah, he provides something different and better. That big body, I think, can do some things that maybe some of those other guys can't do, and I'd love to see it in this offense.
Do you have an idea who you'd sit?
That's what's going to make it weird about it.
I'm guessing it has to be Flournoy.
Floyd,
right?
But he's like teams guy. Like
he's like
can Mingo play teams?
Yeah, I mean he can, but like I said,
or is Blue going to play teams now? If you get Blue into the mix, does Blue play teams, and that takes that spot? You know what I'm saying? I think there are ways you can make this work.
I think if Blue is a teams guy, then I would think Tolbert wouldn't be returning kicks anymore. If Blue's going to be doing more of that stuff, because that'll be kind of his job, I would say. I think it'll be weird to say it's either Mingo or Tolbert. You know, Tolbert go out there and make these big catches and do all this. Yeah. But it's like everybody else has a place in this thing. Flournoy got a lot of jobs. So if it was just like Mingo doing one thing, it's like Flournoy doing all these things. Plus, just another point just on offense, you know, when y'all watching somebody go in motion and Tolbert to come down and crack one of the edges and the edges don't move, or they're running counter, and it's not the guard and the tackle pulling, but it's the guard and whoever's the motion guy, which is Tolbert or Turpin, and they kind of throw their body into people, and that's not all that great. Mingo will pull and thump somebody.
That's my point, and that's where the big body matters.
Noah Brown
he can do some things. Yeah, he can do some things that these other guys may not be able to do. So yeah, I know Flournoy has a lot of jobs. Mm-hmm. I also think Mingo can play a lot of different roles for you at the receiver position that some of the other guys can't. And the other thing about it is, this is the nature of the wide receiver position. Guys get hurt. You don't know what it's going to be like. We still got a few weeks with CD. What else might happen? Like, I just think Mingo is a guy I would be looking to get back as soon as I could, start working him into this offense, because I do think it'll be beneficial to the offense.
Yeah, I'm just kind of thinking, because I thought that maybe that Tolbert was on blast, but then he showed up. You know, he does one of his things where all of a sudden he's kind of like Lazarus. He comes back from the dead all the time.
Yeah, that meme where it just kind of pops up out of the casket.
Yeah. But that's what I mean. I was kind of thinking like, okay, Flournoy's got a lot of different roles. We'll see what happens. But you know, Tolbert played well last week.
He did.
And all of a sudden now is he back into like, yeah, we got him back, and then he's going to be quiet for 3 other games and then come back. You know, I don't know. That's the thing. I wonder who you're going to have to sit, and I wonder, because as many things as Ryan Flournoy does, I wonder if Mingo is going to pick that up, or, you know, like, because I felt like that maybe that Tolbert was the guy, but I don't know. He looks like he's back from the dead.
So, Brian, let me ask you this: did Tolbert have a great game, or did he have a good game, or did he have an amazing catch and a cool little game that Mingo could have had?
I don't know if Mingo comes back for the ball.
Probably not.
I don't know if Mingo gets his feet
What's
down.
the word he taught me?
Dirty macking?
Is this dirty macking?
This isn't quite dirty macking because
really.
I'm not involved in it.
Dang it.
I'm not involved.
Now, if he was,
Okay.
if he was
I
trying
love
to get
Ambar
help
trying to
on
learn though.
if this was maybe Turpin saying this about
Okay.
Tolbert, now we may be a dirty.
Mingo coming to Shotty and said, I definitely wouldn't have missed that block.
Yeah,
That's
dirty macking. Yeah,
That's dirty macking.
yeah.
And Tolbert sitting over there next to him or something like that. That's real dirty. That's dirty.
And he rolled back like, "Hey, it's all good, bro.
All good, bro.
I love you."
My man, shaking hands with
My
Tolbert
man.
and then telling Shotty, I
That's
wouldn't have missed
messed
that
up.
block.
That's messed
I
up.
can make that catch.
All right, we're gonna take our first break.
Dirty
We will come back.
Macking at its best.
We will come back and we'll dive into the New York Jets offense versus Dallas defense. We'll be back. DallasCowboys.com radio.
Yeah.
If you can't be at the stadium, there's no better way to watch your Cowboys than on an LG OLED Evo TV. That's because everything you see is more lifelike. Every play, every hit. I mean, you might as well be on the sidelines. That's how clear it is. It's all thanks to LG's legendary technology. Perfect black, over 8.3 million self-lit pixels. No one comes close. LG OLED Evo is the best TV in the game for a reason. See for yourself at lg.com/OLED Evo.
I'm home. Hey, Mom. Before you ask, I've done my homework and the dishwasher's unloaded.
Nice. Hey, can you... Hey, hon, yes, I've got the finale ready to play. Here's your wine.
Wow. Isn't it nice not having to ask? We think so. That's why if there's a network interruption, AT&T will proactively credit you for a full day of service. Guaranteed. Credit for fiber downtime lasting 20 minutes or more, or for wireless downtime lasting 60 minutes or more caused by a single incident impacting 10 or more towers. Restrictions and exclusions apply. See att.com/guarantee for details.
Hey y'all, Matt Pittman here. As the official pitmaster of the Dallas Cowboys, you know I take cookware seriously, especially when it comes to America's team. So when the Cowboys are away, I'm putting my Yeti cast iron skillets to work to make my game day favorites for friends and family. I'm talking chicken fried steak, skillet queso, and peach cobbler. And just like the Cowboys are forever, so are these heirloom cast iron skillets. Check out the full line of skillets on Yeti.com or at a Yeti store near you.
If you shout, "How about them Cowboys?" you have that undeniable passion that's the heart of Cowboys Nation. And if you like to drink Dr. Pepper, you love the unique blend of its 23 flavors. Together, your one-of-a-kind fandom paired with the one-of-a-kind taste of a delicious ice-cold Dr. Pepper is the game day lineup that can't be beat. Better yet, gather your Cowboys and Dr. Pepper fan friends to watch the next game and crack open a delicious ice-cold Dr. Pepper for everyone. The wins will be even tastier. It's a pepper thing.
Don't put off getting your oil change, Dallas. Take 5 Oil Change, a proud partner of the Cowboys, is faster than you think. They're so fast, you don't even have to get out of your car. You can take advantage of Take 5's stay-in-your-car 10-minute oil change at any of their locations across the Dallas area. And remember, at Take 5, you stay in your car because they're faster than you think. That means you won't even have time to show off your best touchdown celebration. Take 5, the official oil change of the Dallas Cowboys.
Back to the break.
Choose perfection. Choose LG OLED Evo. Check out the best TV in the game at LG.com.
Welcome back. It is the second segment of the break. We're live from the SWBC Mortgage Studios at the start of the segment, brought to you by blockchain.com. All right, let's talk about the Jets offense versus the Dallas defense. What your guys got?
Okay, let's talk about the Jets in a way of you're dealing with a quarterback that's going to run the ball, and he's going to enjoy running the ball. And that's going to be the biggest problem in this game, because I don't think you're going to get a guy that they have weapons. And I mean weapons of one receiver with Garrett Wilson. I think that he is one of the better players, one of the better receivers that you're going to face this season. I think this guy is outstanding with his route running, his ability to separate, his ability to go get the football. He's a very competitive guy. But they really struggle at the other spots with that receiver, I think. You watch their games, you watch their big plays, you watch their explosives. it really is about like a Garrett Wilson running across the field, running deep vertical routes, then crossing the field. He is going to go get the football. He is going to be a handful to have to deal with. You're going to have to worry about, like, say, him starting on one side of the field and ending up all the way over on the other side of the field. That I feel like they kind of need to try and get, and they've even talked about this a little bit, of getting Mason Taylor going, the tight end from LSU. I've watched Mason Taylor play his entire career at LSU. They do need to get him going. This guy is a big body guy. He catches the football well. He's good in traffic. He can get upfield, run after catch, all those things. They need to get him going for their offense, just to kind of give this quarterback an opportunity to make some simple throws. But I say this because the quarterback, when he drops back, and Voch will probably tell you this too, that eye level goes way down. And he will see the rush. This team struggles a little bit when you put pressure on them, not just the four-man pressure, but when you bring blitzers. They have problems with the backs and then the offensive linemen being able to coordinate that. I went through and watched all their pressures through 4 games, and the one underlying element of this whole thing is when they give up sacks, their coordination is really, really poor. And these tackles are young, but what you could do with them is they're good playing outside, not so much playing inside. So pass rush inside against these guys, and then the quarterback affect him with the blitz, and to make the backs have to coordinate with the offensive line for pressures. Will Matt Eberflus, will he blitz more? We saw this last week. He did it a little bit more. I think he's going to have to do it even a little bit more in this game. Pressure, like what you dealt with Love last week, affects this quarterback. The biggest difference is, though, this quarterback will take off and run. I mean, he won't even think about it. There's some design runs. It's kind of a college offense. You see with Breece Hall how they hand him the ball, get him going. To me, they're a left-handed offense. I mean, left-handed in a way. Most teams run the ball going to the right, and that's kind of how they live. This is a left-handed team. They get behind with Fashanu, and John Simpson. They're guys, and that's what they try and do. And you'll see Breece Hall. They'll press it left. They'll press it to their left. And so, whoever is the right end for the Cowboys, usually that's your upfield rush in guy. Whoever that is, it might be Clowney. You might want to put somebody over there rushing off that right side that knows how to play the run pretty well, because I think that's what the Jets want to do.
Now, Brian, I'm talking to you, but I'm looking at Flus.
Yeah.
But I am talking to you. Is this the week that we finally see quarterback spy? I feel like that was something that was that could have been an option week 1.
Yeah.
Flus didn't choose to use that option, and we could all look back and say if that was an option that was on the table, maybe you beat the hell out the Eagles because they weren't going to get things going in the passing game. I don't know. That's just me assuming. I think the difference is with the last few quarterbacks that you've gone against is they have an option to throw the ball against you. Like Russell can throw the football against us. He can't throw the ball against nobody else, but Russell Wilson can't throw the ball against us. Caleb can throw. Jordan Love especially can throw. I don't think Justin Fields wants to throw the ball all that much. I think he will throw it. I think the coordinator as well wants to run the ball more with Fields. So now that ass is here, like, okay, there's no option for Justin Fields to kind of dot us around the field. He's going to run.
Right.
And when he's run, he's a devastating runner. He's not a Russell Wilson runner where he'll just kind of slide down there. He'll run. He'll try to get some extra on the back end, Brian. So I'm looking at Flus, but I'm talking to you. Is this the week that we finally see Spy Guy? Do we contain him? Because if you look at the Bills game, how they dealt with him, we saw some good things and some bad things. The Bills would rush slowly rush, yeah, contain on the outside and make Fields sack himself.
Right.
Like if the looks are muddy, he'll run around and he won't try to find an option downfield. He'll try to find a way out of the pocket and use his legs because that's what he's most confident in. But those times where the Bills didn't, contain all that way, rush slowly, gap integrity, and all this kind of stuff, that's when Fields got to the outside, and then we saw big runs down the field. Same thing happened with the Dolphins Monday, Brian. So is this a week where we see a spy, or is Flus, assuming that you guessing or that you text him or something, are we just going to run it straight just like we did with Hurts?
Yeah, the last question I ever asked Flus, text him, I asked him about playing spy coverage, and I didn't hear an answer back.
That's trifling.
So he did not want to get back with me on that one.
Crazy.
I will say this, though, it's funny that you mentioned about playing slow. Dallas naturally plays slow when they're on their pass rush. I mean, honestly, it does. That's the biggest problem is they just don't have. Occasionally, you'll get Houston coming off the ball, Ezraku coming off the ball, but for the most part, they just do not win with the first step. So if you're going to muddle things up around the line of scrimmage and all that, then, it probably plays right into Dallas's hands. They'll make him sack himself. Mm-hmm. But I feel like, though, you got to make all these guys have to pick up. And that's why I think the pressure, when he sees the pressure, then it really does affect him. But to answer your question, no, I don't think he's going to play a spy on this guy.
Well, real quick, let me ask this question. Is there a guy that you can identify who has the speed to be able to chase Fields down if you were going to spy him? Like, the natural answer would be if Overshown was here, Overshown can take it. He can do it. Is there a guy that you look at? Because we notoriously have talked about how slow the linebackers look. Yeah. Do you have somebody that you think could spy him effectively?
Shamar James is your most athletic guy, I would say, Brian. And
they're the one guy that can run.
And they're trying to work him in already. Like he got like 25 snaps, I believe, last game. So this would be a fantastic way to just keep using him. And even if you don't want to, muddy up the work for him, because I would say that the less jobs that he has, the better that he is. If you just say, hey, Shamar, just kind of run around with him, I think that'll benefit you a little bit.
He's playing. It seems like they're using him more in the nickel situations. They're taking Sanborn off the field and then putting James in there. So, we'll see. We'll see what they do with Clark this week is another one that might be a possibility, because I think the one thing about James is that, he's able to, because he can run. He can run down guys, and he can play forward, and he can tackle in space and stuff. So but man, the pass rush part, we saw that at Florida coming out. That was one of the things that he was really good at, was rushing the passer, and then the coverage aspect wasn't very good. But I would consider it, because of the ability for him to run. But I don't anticipate Flus doing that at all.
I know Flus is going to try to muddy the looks, as he should, and that's going to make Fields hold the ball. Fields will get himself sacked, so we can definitely look into that. But for the most part, if these other teams have gotten pressure on him via that left side, so it's interesting. They run well off that left side.
They do. To me, I was trying to get an idea. Just if you watch the runs,
they run left.
The 5+ yard runs, the 10+ yard runs. It's usually coming off that left side. But then the quarterback, when he escapes. Like, he had a long run against the Dolphins. It was a touchdown. It was a left escape, but everything else has kind of been to the right side of him running the football.
Yeah, but if you look at their left side, Fashiono and Simpson, they've given up the most pressures, bro.
Right.
Now, I'm just looking at this from Cowboy lenses. I don't give a damn who had tackle.
Right.
The Cowboys haven't proven to me that they can get pressure from the outside. They got a cat on the practice squad called Marquise Haynes. If he was at left tackle, still wouldn't matter to me, Brian.
Pro Football Focus highest offensive tackle grade of the week, if that was the case.
Still wouldn't matter to me, Brian. But at the end of the day, you can still get pressure from the inside. I'm going to keep using that theme until the Cowboys come back and prove me wrong, or James Houston ends up starting or something. We'll see. But you can go find Simpson. But also something else that the Bills did it. And I'm going to keep saying them because Fields was hurt in one of these games and he missed the
Tampa game.
So you really saw him, against the Dolphins, and you saw him against the Bills. But one thing that the Bills did was moving the fronts, gap exchanges, slants, and all this kind of stuff. So one way that happens, Tippmann, the right guard, that he gets turned a lot, Brian. Tippmann and Myers, they don't just read it and just pass along. They turn. So when you turn your back, somebody could just slip off the backside there. And then that's when sometimes Fields sees that and gets a little nervous and starts to run around a little bit. So if you do it, Flus, I'm looking at you and I'm talking to Brian. If you want to do some gap exchanges like you did in week 3, you did it once and didn't do it very much after that. I ain't see it much in week 4, but if you want to bring that back, I saw Dante Fowler looping a couple of weeks ago. If you want to bring that back, now is a fantastic time to do it, because these interior guys get turned a lot, especially with Kenny Clark being fantastic in there.
Sure
I got some
right now.
Huh? What's
I'm
that?
sure Flus is tuned in right now.
Flus don't care nothing about me.
He's watching tape right now.
Yeah,
One more thing too, though. In the event that it is blocked up nicely, because I do think that this offensive line is nice, Brian.
Yeah.
They just give up some of the weird stuff, some of the movement stuff. In the event that it is blocked up nicely, when you do see Fields sit and throw, of course, that's how you would want them to attack you, but the Cowboys give up a ton of deep plays.
Yeah,
that's just who we are.
That's who you are, absolutely.
So him to Garrett Wilson deep,
that could be.
It's likely coming.
That's going to be your biggest problem. You're probably going to get a 46-yard chunk play. Maybe the first series of the game and stuff like that. But yeah, it's the problem is that if he does get protection, he is willing to throw the football. But it's not. I mean, he drops back and things start getting a little crazy. He'll run. That's the thing I worry about in this game. I know I worried about Caleb Williams, but Caleb Williams is a better passer than this guy.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. So all of a sudden, Caleb Williams is feeling comfortable and he's making throws and he's not having to run around. I think this guy first wants to try. He'll read it for a second and then he'll get on out of there. And Wilson's his guy to throw it to. But this is an offensive line that's actually they've drafted a lot of these guys. They're all young guys, with the exception really of the left guard. Simpson's not a young guy, and Myers the center is not a really young guy either. But everybody else is kind of a young guy, and they've tried to kind of put this thing together. It's not a bad offensive line, but you will see occasional pressure. I will say this though about the quarterback.
What'd you say?
The quarterbacks they're playing, they don't throw many interceptions. They have one that they've thrown. So the turnover aspect sometimes. But in the pocket, you've seen them drop the ball. They've had some fumbles that way.
He did a fumble last
The thing that I also was looking for too is how many times you're going to attack a flat. And the Cowboys have really had problems with some of their flat coverage, and the Jets have yet to complete a screen. You always worry about how a screen to a running back.
Okay.
Put it that way. Wide receiver screens just a tiny bit. I would not be surprised with the way Dallas has struggled the last 4 weeks with screens and stuff like that you will see them try and throw the ball to Breece Hall here. In some form, get him out in the flat. Dallas just has not done a very good job dealing with playing as flat defenders.
Yeah. All right, let's take our final break.
I'm tuned into the chat. I'm keeping up with the chat now.
What are they talking about? I put it down because I'm talking about.
I'm looking at the chat. Well, people talking about Shamari James, utilizing him as a spy, that they want to see him in that role, and people just saying
facts about you, right? That what they saying?
Well, now they're praising me because I'm talking to them now.
Because you in there.
Yeah. I'm in there. They're saying hi.
Oh, fake man.
But just pointing out a lot of the issues happening on the defensive side of the ball for the Cowboys and how they're going to manage going up against this offense. But I saw somebody also talking about who would be better between Donovan Wilson and Juanyeh Thomas as a spy.
Don's gonna kill somebody out there at the spot. Yeah. I like.
He might miss though.
He might miss being too aggressive, but that's much better than him playing one high. So that's a good one there.
Does Donovan have the speed? I really don't know this answer.
I think he's got like the burst. He's got that little bit of a burst, and then it kind of as he further he has to go.
Depends on the angle.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I didn't see him as a guy with long speed, but. Obviously, you've got the angle.
I know
he's aggressive enough.
I would consider Maris Liufau in this thing too. Ben, but Maris will do some crazy. Man. He'll do some crazy ass stuff too.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna take our final break. When we come back, the question I have for you guys is: Jerry's talked a little bit about these all the latitude he has with these picks that he's picked up. If there was any position that right now you would advise the Cowboys to go out and trade for, what would that position be because of the need for an upgrade? We'll be back. DallasCowboys.com radio.
Can of worms.
Every day begins with a promise to work hard and to build a future. That's why we're here, providing the tools, expertise, and John Deere equipment you have relied on for generations to help you get the job done right. We're with you. That's our promise to you, because no matter the project or the challenge you're facing,
we're with you. We're united.
I'm home. Hey, Mom, before you ask, I've done my homework and the dishwasher's unloaded.
Nice. Hey, can you... Hey, hon, yes, I've got the finale ready to play. Here's your wine.
Wow. Isn't it nice not having to ask? We think so. That's why if there's a network interruption, AT&T will proactively credit you for a full day of service, guaranteed. Credit for fiber downtime lasting 20 minutes or more, or for wireless downtime lasting 60 minutes or more caused by a single incident impacting 10 or more towers. Restrictions and exclusions apply. See att.com/guarantee for details.
It's the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. And right now, Cowboys fans can get 15% off their $75 order. Plus, because every deal needs a playmaker, your order will include a free 5-piece skincare set and free shipping. The Jack Black Playmaker is 4 of Jack's favorites and a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Make a play for the Playmaker at getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP.
How's it going? You see that Cowboys game?
Oh, I watched. Been seeing some good things.
Totally. They have some talent.
Yup, some great talent.
And they got some fight.
Hoping this is the year.
Me too. Oh, I'm Cody, by the way.
I'm Travis.
Nice to meet you, Travis. Go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys!
Make a new friend based solely on their shirt choice. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys. Copyright 2025 Bank of America Corporation.
From the field to the festivities, Lucchese embodies the essence of luxury and tradition. Handcrafted with meticulous precision, each pair offers unmatched comfort and style. Stand tall while you're tailgating or cheering in the stands with the Dallas Cowboys collection by Lucchese. Shop the collection today at the Lucchese store at the Star in Frisco or online at lucchese.com. Lucchese, the official boot of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders.
Back to the break.
AT&T, connecting changes everything.
Welcome back. Final segment of the break, live from SWBC Mortgage Studios at the Star, presented by LG. Let's talk about the what's wrong?
I was about to ask Beam a question, but you wouldn't let me.
No, we were coming back. He was like, "We up."
I got you, but I was going to ask you here. Beam, do we get credit for the live shows? Then the live shows go away. Then the repost show, like all that comes together, right?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people in the chat right now, and I just want them to feel represented. I don't want them to not tune in to live.
The numbers that I get,
they
have live. They have on demand on YouTube,
Twitter,
DallasCowboys.com, Cowboys Mobile, Cowboys Connected TV, X. Facebook, everywhere we put the show, all those numbers, Apple, Spotify, all that, all those numbers are put together, and it's a cumulative total of all those different platforms, both live and on demand, where we look at our numbers.
The reason why I ask because the chat takes a lot of pride in being like a unified chat. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to make sure that they recognize.
Well, so they know right now, Dallas Cowboys, of all the Dallas Cowboys podcasts. Cowboys Break is doing its thing.
Okay.
So keep doing your thing. Keep showing up.
I just told the chat because now I'm part of the community.
She right there. Damn.
Yeah, I'm right there. I'm typing in. I'm letting them know. I'm gonna make it a thing now where I'll open up the chat every day of the show, show, and then I'll keep an eye on some of those comments.
So you say something good, you might get on the show.
Yeah. But behave.
But keep it PC so that we can see the real questions, please, y'all, please.
Yeah.
Because I know what y'all talking about prior to her getting here. But go ahead, Derek, please. They crazy, Derek.
I'm telling you, man.
This the internet.
I
know.
So please, y'all, just behave.
I've been dealing with the internet since it started.
So that we could. I'm not that old. So that we can make y'all a part of this thing. Please behave.
All right, here we go. So this was my question before the break. We only got like 5 minutes. If the Cowboys, if they were going to take any of the resources that they have as a part of the trade with Micah, whether that be in draft picks or whether that be in just money that they could maybe pay some of these guys, obviously we won't say names of players that are under contract, but what position would you think would be the best place to go out before the trade deadline and try to acquire a player that can upgrade your team?
Man, Brian had a really good point about this, so I'm going to try not to take his talking point.
Oh, go ahead.
Because we agree. No.
Oh, you can do it.
But there are some top-tier pass rushers that could be disgruntled with a team that's bad, geographically possibly on the West Coast somewhere. I don't know. I think a player like that will be different than the top-tier player that's geographically in the West Coast right now, in the Midwest right now, because he's like a good rundown guy, or he may be a good rundown guy and possibly a fantastic pass rusher, a top
more
five,
complete player.
A more complete player, this guy that may be geographically over there somewhere on the left side of the country. So I think a player like that bumps the D-line one more time. Like if Dante's your main edge guy, you kind of feel pressure to play him. Sam, you may feel pressure to play him, but if you had a top tier cat to come in and boost the rest of the edge room, then maybe just a little bit of pass rush could help the defense as a whole. Brian made a point, and I'll let him talk about it. Maybe this one guy won't make your defense super elite, but if you're against Green Bay, then maybe they score 35 points as opposed, to 40 points or something like that.
Yeah, I'm kind of to the point where I know the trade deadline is like November 2nd or 3rd, something like that. And so I'm to the point where I really don't want to do anything until I see this defense stabilize. And I mean stabilize in a way. I saw one of the best pass rushers in football on a defense that had been doing great give up 40 points. I do not want to make a trade and then all of a sudden I'm having to give up a premium asset. I want, trust me, folks, I love personnel and trading and being aggressive. And if it's going to take I've seen projections where Dallas might be picking, and it's top 10. I mean, there's people that think you're still going to be in the top 10 picking.
Yeah.
So you'll have your pick and Green Bay's pick, of course. So now you're thinking like, okay, what could my pick bring us, and what could Green Bay's pick potentially bring us? But before I do that, I want to see if we can stabilize this thing. I want to see if all of a sudden we start to practice some guys, and oh wait, the secondary is playing better. The offense looks like it's just fine. I mean, you're running the football, your quarterback's playing at an MVP-like level. Your play caller's doing a great job that way. I know the Bears game was a little rough in some areas. But me personally, I'm looking at these next, say, 3 to 4 weeks and figuring out like, okay, is this defense going to stabilize? If it does and it gets better, now I'm interested in going to make a trade and try and make us even better. But if we're not going to be better and we're still going to have problems, it's going to be a fight every week.
Yeah.
I am not interested in giving up a premium asset for a team that's not going to benefit from it.
I will say, though, Brian, if there were a hypothetical player, whether it be geographically on the West Coast or in the Midwest, I would assume that both those players would be cheaper than Micah's $47 million.
It's working. It looks that way.
So the difference in money, like it'll be like in your checkbook to be able to have those guys, right?
One of the players has a longer contract.
Allegedly,
than the
man.
other allegedly has a longer contract than the other guy. Yes.
Yeah. One guy's like 1 year, $30 million. The other is a couple of years.
Well,
35 per.
I agree with what you said, Brian, but here's the thing.
Don't get fired. Go ahead. Don't get fired. Go ahead.
You want help now?
But one, with the way that Dak is playing, I don't want to waste that. I don't want to waste this year in the way that he's handling the offense.
You might not be able to help that.
But on defense, listen, I'm trying to get to the Super Bowl. I'm trying to go see Bad Bunny.
Ambar spitting.
So we gotta,
you want to win?
You know.
Is that what this is about?
Oh, it's always.
Is that what this is about?
Yeah.
There's always an angle.
For the rest of this year, that's exactly what it's about. That's all it's about.
Angle.
Yeah.
I don't start singing right now because I know then we can't post the show and we got to take it down for copyright issues.
Yeah.
But
I don't even know
looking at the chat, a vast majority of the people are saying that they would go for a linebacker. They don't want a linebacker that's kind of in the end of their career, and they want someone that's kind of in their prime and with youth. But that's the primary need. Some people have mentioned, yes, rushing the passer and also at the cornerback position, but it seems like the vast majority of people are in favor of getting some linebacker help.
Yeah. A deal would be like very similar, and I'm just saying the player's name because he's already been traded, Roquan Smith.
Yeah.
Like when you leave the Bears and go to the Ravens, then that's the type of player.
A dude like that.
If you're going for a linebacker trade, that's the type of player that you take him from one team and he's a good player for that team and he becomes an even better player.
Yeah. And that's what I'm looking at. Like I look at this right now and I say there's one position on this defense that I think is they're having problems in both parts of what you're trying to do. We saw in this last game that run, I think it was an 18-yard touchdown run. Yeah. The linebackers just like it. Yeah. That's the type of play that shows me where now, don't get me wrong, I don't think they've been bad all season against the run. I think they've been pretty good in certain situations. But you combine that with all the times we've seen where just in pass coverage, they're just not able to do it. And if you go out and get me a difference-making linebacker, I think that could make a huge impact on this defense as a whole. I agree with you, Brian, from the standpoint I think a pass rusher can always add something to your defense. It just gives you one of those weapons that makes it harder to defend you. But at the same time, I think a difference-making linebacker right now helps his defense more because his defense is more in need of that. And not only that for right now, but for the long term. I mean, you can think that Overshown's going to come back, but beyond that, like, do you really know who's going to be your starting linebacker opposite him next year, the year after that? Well, I think you could use that guy for the long term. We still don't know what Ezeraku will turn into. We don't know what the rest of these guys may be able to give you for this year or next. I think right now at linebacker, I'm pretty sold on the idea that I would love to bring in a difference-making linebacker and plug him in and keep him there for the next 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, I see people throwing in Overshown, but I've heard Jerry Jones mention, we got Overshown on his way back.
Overshown needs a friend.
But exactly, you cannot just count on Overshown.
It might be with the 19th pick of the draft, though.
Maybe.
I think to me that's where I think the avenue for going to get an edge is probably better than somebody giving up on a linebacker.
Maybe.
I mean, and I know Roquan Smith. I said Roquan Smith, but man, I don't know. I haven't heard anybody giving up on linebackers. I'm hearing that maybe you can have our ends, is what I'm hearing.
Real fast, I think there's one linebacker that played for a team where David Hellman is from, that an ex-Cowboys coach might be coaching at. Like, there's a guy there that I would consider sending a pick to. Sure. But this always comes back down to a convo me and Derek had. Like, boy, how fly would it have been to have Micah and Clark here? Yeah. I think Kenny Clark makes it to where you can have a top-tier edge dude now. Yeah. So I would call that that geographical West Coast or Midwest team and see what they're sitting on.
Yeah, I look at this.
I think
linebacker would be so much of a help for this team, especially a linebacker that can cover ground. One that can cover ground.
Give me the one on the West Coast.
If you're going to keep covering, if you're going to keep running this style of defense, where you're going to do a lot of that, Tampa 2 type, where that middle linebacker's going to have to go deep and he's going to have to basically cover down the field. Yeah. Give me a guy that can do that. Like, they don't have a guy that can do that right now.
I'd take Rolando McClain right now in a heartbeat. I mean, just
yes.
You kidding?
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying that kind of
bring him
somebody
on.
like that. But
we can talk about him. He's a free agent.
Yeah,
he can't play football anymore, I don't think. But he's a free agent. Yeah,
Fish, my guy. Fish.
Come podcast with us.
Appreciate you guys joining us today. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll talk about the Jets defense versus the Cowboys offense. Till then, for Voch Lombardi, Bryan Broaddus, and Ambar Garcia, I'm Derek Eagleton. This has been
Bye,
great.
chat.
Live on DallasCowboys.com.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!